But we as a continent have now defined ourselves.
In the news, JAMB candidates to pay 700 naira for mock. Falana and others protest over insecurity, poverty in Lagos. And China allows families to have 3 children. France imposes strict restrictions on travel from the UK. Details coming up shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Merciful Ajinamo, and this is TOS News 360. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has announced that candidates are expected to pay 700 naira to the computer-based test centers before taking their mock Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. The announcement was made 3 days before the commencement of the mock examination on JAMB's Twitter handle. The payment is different from the 3,500 naira paid by the candidate for UTME forms and 500 naira for the reading text. The examination body said the amount will be paid to the center owner as the mock examination fee. And human rights lawyer Mr. Femi Falana SAN and his musician son, Folarin, popularly known as Fowls, took to the street on Monday, along with some other Lagosians, to protest against the insecurity and poverty in the country. The protesters, under the support of the People's Alternative Political Movement, marched from Ikeja bus stop to the governor's office through the secretariat to the Lagos State House of Assembly, chanting protest songs. The protest was staged, "Enough is enough." It had youths carry placards with inscriptions as "No to exploitation and multiple taxation," provide jobs for unemployment benefits for youth, provide security in schools, end kidnapping and banditry, among others. Now, the immediate past Vice President of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Emmanuel Osodeke, has been elected as the new president of the union. Osodeke, who is a professor of soil science at the Federal University of Agriculture, Umudike, Abia State, was elected early on Sunday morning during a 3-day conference of the union, which was held at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Anambra State. He took over from Biodun Ogunyemi, a professor of education at the Olabisi Onambanjo University, Agoiwoye, in Ogun State. Residents in the southeast region on Monday shut businesses and deserted the streets in compliance with the sit-at-home order issued by the proscribed group Indigenous People of Biafra. Ima Powerful, spokesperson of the group, had earlier stated that human and vehicular movement would be restricted across the southeast on Monday to mark the 54th anniversary of Biafra. In compliance with this, TOS News gathered that streets in Owerri, Imo State capital, were empty. Businesses, schools and other major economic hubs were shut. Vehicular movement were also grounded. Nonetheless, there is a heavy presence of security personnel in strategic places in the city to curb any breakdown of law and order. The situation was the same in Abia, Anambra and Ebonyi State. Now, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, on Sunday suspended Mali's membership in response to the double coup led by the Malian military, Colonel Assimi Goïta, who is now officially the country's leader. African leaders of the 15-member Economic Community of West African States held an emergency summit in Accra to discuss the situation in Mali. It was after the summit ECOWAS said Mali's membership in the bloc was suspended with immediate effect. Neighboring countries and international bodies fear the latest crisis will affect the presidential election to be held February 2022. ECOWAS, however, did ask not Goïta to step down from the position. It only said the country should nominate a new civilian prime minister and form a new inclusive government. This is your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television, and you're watching TOS News 360. We'll take a short break now. More stories after the break. Do stay. Many thanks for staying. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Egypt's intelligence chief Abbas Kamel met in West Jerusalem to discuss the establishment of a permanent ceasefire between Israel and Palestine. According to a statement from Netanyahu's office, they focused on strengthening cooperation between Israel and Egypt, as well as the mechanisms to prevent resources sent for Gaza's reconstruction from being used to increase the military power of Hamas. Since the meeting over the weekend, Egypt has not made any statement regarding the meeting. And China has announced that couples are allowed to have 3 children in order to boost birth rates in the country, after a census showed its population is rapidly aging. This was revealed by China's President Xi Jinping in a meeting of China's elite Politburo Leadership Committee on Monday. For about 40 years, China enforced the one-child policy, one of the strictest family planning regulations worldwide, which was relaxed in 2016 to a 2-child policy. According to the National Bureau of Statistics last month, China's annual births have continued to fall to a record low of 12 million in 2020, with its fertility rate standing at 1.3, below the level needed to maintain a stable population. And now France has imposed strict restrictions on non-essential travel from the UK due to concerns over the spread of the coronavirus variant first identified in India. Although the regulations were announced last week, the restrictions came into force from Monday when entry to France from Britain is permitted only for EU nationals, French residents or people traveling for important reasons. These new restrictions apply to all air, car, ferry and train passengers and to people who have been vaccinated, while those permitted to travel must take a pre-departure PCR COVID test if age 11 or over and must also agree to quarantine for 7 days on arrival in France. France is labelled as an amber list destination under the UK government's traffic light system. And now to Egypt, where Zamalek have won the inaugural Basketball Africa League title after defeating US Monastir in a 7-6, 6-3 match at Kigali Arena on Sunday. Zamalek players etched their names in gold letters in the club's history after winning the game. Walter Hodge, one of Zamalek's players, were awarded the tournament MVP, an award named after basketball legend Hakeem Olajuwon. The BAL is the continent's top-tier club tournament, and it is collaboration between the National Basketball Association (NBA) and the International Basketball Federation, that's FIBA. And Joe Lara, the actor popularly known for his role as Tarzan in the TV series Tarzan: The Epic Adventures, died in a plane crash at the age of 58. 7 other passengers died in the crash. Reports say the flight was part of a religious excursion and all victims were members of the church. The cause of the crash has not been revealed as investigations continue. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital first Pan-African News Network. For more updates, visit www.tostvnetwork.com. Follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Stay with us and enjoy more programs on the network. I am Merciful Ajinomo. Many thanks for watching.
But we as a continent